All right, this is our introduction to the Kodiak Life Protection Systems Arnis curriculum. Arnis is a weapon system which comes from the Philippines, and it uses a rattan stick as its primary weapon. At least that's what we do here at Kodiak Life Protection Systems. We begin our training with a rattan stick. As soon as you come in the first day, you get a pair of sticks to practice with, but you start out with a single stick, and I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to be learning with a single stick on your very first time out at Kodiak Life Protection Systems Arnis program. The first thing you're going to do is learn how to hold the stick. And the biggest issue that people have with holding the stick is either they hold it too far to the end or they hold it too high up. There's a sweet spot that we want to grab that's right down close to the end, but you want to leave enough of the ending, maybe about 1 to 2 finger lengths of the ending, so that you can use that as a weapon as well. Because the tip of the stick, which is this end, we call this the tip and the butt of the stick. The tip can be used to strike with, but so can the butt. The butt can be used to strike with as well. So we want to be able to use both, and if our hand is all the way down the end and we don't really have the butt of the stick to use, we use this not only for striking, but also for locking. So we want to be able to have both ends usable. But we don't want to choke up too much. If we choke up too much and have too much ending down here, then we don't really have as much of the striking power that we would have if we go closer to the end and get the whole stick involved in the swing when we're swinging the tip. Again, sometimes we call this the tip and the butt of the stick. Sometimes you may hear me refer to this portion as the cane and this is the puño. But that's just different terms we use talking about the same thing. And when we're using the stick, the first thing we do is we learn how to stand. And we begin by standing. If the stick is in our right hand, we're going to put it on our right shoulder, and our opposite hand is going to go on our chest. This hand will come into play, but in the beginning it's just going to stay right on our chest. This keeps it from getting in the way of what we're doing, but it also keeps us from dropping it to our side. This is a bad habit. If we get in the habit of only doing something with our stick hand and our other hand is not doing anything, that's bad. We want to keep our stick hand or our non-stick hand up here on our chest so that if we are going through a drill, we might use it to strike as we're going back and forth. Our non-stick hand is very important. It can be used to grab and return. It can be used to check and return. It has many purposes. So we never want to forget this hand and let it fall. We want to keep it up here. And this stick, again, is going to start out on our shoulder. Sometimes the stick will be here, out in front of us. Sometimes the stick will be on our shoulder. But in the beginning of class, the first thing I want you to do is learn to put it on your shoulder simply as a reference point. So this is reference point because our first strike that we're going to learn is going to come from this position. It's a strike, what we call a number 1 strike. From the shoulder, hand on the chest, my left foot is forward, I'm going to step out with my right foot, and I'm going to swing through what we call a number 1 strike. I'll do it at sort of an angle so you can see. My stick is on my shoulder, my left foot is out, I step with my right, swing through a number 1 strike. That's a number 1. Now at number 2, I'm going to swing through on the other side, I'm going to bring my right foot back. And I'm back here. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I could vary that. I could step 1, 2, or I could step back 1, 2. It all would depend. But there is something important to realize. When I'm swinging the stick, if I'm swinging all the way through, I want to make sure that that hand and foot are the same one that's out. I do not want to swing all the way through with this leg out. Because if I do, I have a chance of hitting myself in the knee. With a stick, that's bad, but if this were an edged weapon like a bolo or a machete, that could be even worse. The stick comes down and we're to cut your leg. So we want to make sure when we begin that when we step with the right, if we're swinging through with a 1, it's right. If we step back with the left, that's back. So a 1 and a 2 also make a figure 8. From the front, a number 1 looks like this, a number 2 looks like this. And if I swing all the way through, 1, 2, that's a figure 8. 1, 2 is a figure 8. 1, 2, and all of those make a figure 8. So that's 1 and 2. Now 3 and 4 come from the side. Look similar to 1 and 2. 3, 4. So as 1 and 2 made a figure 8, 3 and 4 make a straight line. Now, 5 comes from my hip. 5 is a stab. I'll do it from the side. 5 is a stab. From this side, 5 is a stab. My target is my opponent's abdomen. I want to stab them right in the abdomen. 6 and 7 are also stabs. 6, the hand comes up and I step here. My target is anywhere in this area. 7, my stick comes up and I stab here. My target is anywhere in this area of my opponent. So again, 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, 7 are all stabs. 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Now, as soon as we get to number 8, we're going to go back to a figure 8. But this time, we're going to figure 8 low. So number 8 swings here, and a number 9 here. So the same as 1 and 2, 8 and 9 are low strikes. And finally, we have a number 10. A number 10, straight over the top. Now I can swing a number 10 and bring the stick back on this side. I can swing a number 10 and bring the stick back on this side. Or I can swing a 10 and retract the stick. Bang and bring it back. Either one works. So it's here, here, here are all number 10 strikes because they're all going on that straight up and that straight down angle. One angle is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, 4 is here, 5 in, 6 in, 7 in, 8 low, 9 low, 10 straight down. And that's the first 10 strikes that we learn in Arnis. Now, there's one last thing I want to show you, and that is how we give courtesy with the stick. We begin similar to karate in that we begin in a formal attention stance. We simply hold the stick out in front of us, just like this, at a 45-degree angle, and it's just held right out in front of us. When we go to bow, our feet come together, the stick is straight up beside us. Our hand is here, where it always is. Now we're going to bring the stick over our head like a head block, and we're going to bring our opposite foot back away as we bow, and we come back up to the ready position. Again, I'm here, courtesy, and I'm back out. And I'm here. And those are the basic things that you will want to know when you come and train in the Kodiak Life Protection Systems Arnis program.